So it's been about 3 weeks since I spent a shitload of money on Alex Hormozi's AI, as well as playbooks and donating like 200 money models books. And it's scaled my revenue insane amounts. I mean, I literally made like $10,000 just in the first week of using this AI. And that was completely extra off of things I didn't even know I could monetize. So this is very, very powerful and it has amazing things to say. So I thought in this video, I just kind of give back a little bit and ask, what is the easiest possible way to make 20K a month in 2025? Now, the reason why I want to make this video is because I done that myself. It's taken me about 2 years to hit that number, but I hit it way back in maybe 8 months ago or so when I hit 20K a month originally. And I wanted to just compare exactly what I did to what it tells you to do as well, so that we can kind of give you the guidance you need to actually go ahead and do it yourself. So I just want to start off this video by asking Alex, what's the easiest possible way to make 20K a month in 2025? Now, this isn't going to be a fancy edited video, and I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just want to give you some raw value here and really just explain basically what I did in comparison to what it tells you to do. Because this is a pretty general prompt, right? This AI is incredibly good at answering very specific questions, very specific constraints and bottlenecks. But let's go ahead and say you have nothing, starting from absolute scratch. And by the way, in the next video, I'm going to make another Alex Hormozi AI video. So if you want your question to be answered, I will do like maybe 3 or 4 lucky people in the comment section of this video, and I'll ask your questions in the next one. So yeah, start from scratch. So what will you sell? In my experience, what I sold is to local service-based businesses. So local service-based. I was B2B because I believed that selling business to business made more sense to me. Let's say I have to do outbound because I don't have any money yet. Constraints, no budget, and timeline. I want to make money fast. Okay, let's just see what it says. And I'm going to compare this exactly to what I did. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite similar to what I did as well. Even though because I didn't have this AI, it took me a lot longer to hit that mark. All right, let's see. So just a little bit of context while this is loading. So I hit 20K a month probably back in like September last year. So basically about 12 months ago from today. And at that point, what I was doing is basically AI lead gen for local businesses like near me, right? So I was doing like roofers, some remodelers as well. And I would basically run ads and have people call those ads with AI and do other AI type messaging, basically sequences to basically get more appointments and more jobs for these companies. And that got me to 20K a month in like not that long. So let's see what it says. Pick one service. So let's say we're doing, I want it to be online and outreach. Let's say we're doing cold calls, cold DM, cold email, all that stuff. So we don't have to spend money. Let's say we can commit 4 to 6 hours a day. So, I mean, I made money in my teens, cold window cleaning. So I was basically going door to door, doing door to door sales. But I found after maybe 8 months of consistent door knocking that I was hell. So what I decided to do was what can I do to move this online? Because in the back of my head, there was always I want to start some kind of online business. I want to start some kind of agency. And throughout my entire life, I had that, because I think I just watched YouTube videos. I watched Emon a lot when I was young. And it really just got me thinking okay, great. This in-person business is good. Window cleaning is great. Door to door, I recommend in the beginning. But I always had that thought in the back of my head was I want to start something online. So let's see right here. Let's see, you want to start lead gen, niche, let's say any cold call. Okay. So we want to sell lead gen. Honestly, lead gen is by far the best thing to do in the beginning. And it's basically telling us to sell kind of service, junk removal, maintenance, parking lot, handyman services. Honestly, if I were you, just to speed run and do what I did, I would honestly recommend selling lead gen. It's super easy because one, all the information's online. So if you need to learn how to literally generate leads, you can literally look it up. But more importantly, you don't have to go, okay, yeah, appointment setting gen. Okay, perfect. So here's what it's telling us to do to make 20K a month as fast as possible and as easy as possible in 2025. So number one, appointment setting lead gen. So basically booking jobs for local trades. Whether that's roofing, whether that's remodeling, whether that's window cleaning, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter exactly what niche you're in, it says. Geography, so starting off with your local radius and then moving to nationwide. And then picking one of these following niches because they're more high ticket. That's what it tells us. So basically, If you follow this to a T, which I literally did this as well, probably about a year and a half ago, and committing to this daily outbound number right here, 120 a day, 100 a day, 80 a day, out these like amounts of dials, whether it's cold SMS, cold calling, basically you can have a simple offer where you get them a certain amount of booked appointments in 30 days or they don't pay. And then what's good about that is that one, it's no risk. Two, you can offer like a pay per result incentive. And so what that means is basically like you can charge per appointment. Like if you get them an appointment on a calendar, you can auto bill them for that. So like that's literally probably the definition of passive income if you want to say that. But let's just see. So let's say most people go into like roofing or like solar or like med spas even. So let's say B or E. Let's go cold calling commitment. Let's say you can do 100 a day, which is pretty standard. I mean, if you're not doing at least 100 a day, then you're probably correct. Risk reversal. Let's say you're doing pay per appointment. Okay, so let's see the fastest way to get to 20K a month, or I guess the easiest way in Alex Hormozi's opinion. But one thing I'm finding as well with this AI is that it's extremely specific. Like on the last video, like you guys commented like, I don't know, there was like 300 comments or something crazy of just so many questions for this AI. But I found that like every single question was like, I type one in, right? I test it out and then it would give me like, ask for 50 intake questions for specifics. So the thing is with this AI that you need to understand is that it's very, very powerful and really, really specific for constraints. It's not really built for beginners. So that's why it's kind of very interesting, in my opinion, to kind of ask all these like more beginning questions. So it's searching all the books, searching all the playbooks, the notes. Okay, so here we go. Here's how to do exactly this. Easy 20K a month. Pay per show lead gen for med spas with 100 cold calls a day. So pick a niche. Med spas, ideally, appointment math, clear buyer, high LTV, run the rule of 100 at least. The thing is with the rule of 100, basically doing like 100 touches a day until you get the result you want. With outbound and especially this agency space right now, that's not enough. Like, trust me, 100 is not enough per day. You need to be doing a lot more than that. Like, don't even like think that you'll get a certain result unless you're doing that. And honestly, if you want to see what it actually takes, I have a community in the description with a bunch of guys that are basically on that same track. Like I have probably 2 guys that just signed their first, multi-$1,000 deal in there. And you can see that in like the wins chat in there. So if you want to check out that community, just to kind of like actually see what it takes. There's a link in the description with a video on there just explaining more about that. But basically, here's your core offer. So you're going to book qualified consults, right? Only like for lasers, and you only pay for shows, no setup fee. So it's super, super easy to get clients in the first place. I will just say, as my own advice, you would have to get some kind of card on file to show commitment. Then you can do 150 to 250 per qualified show. The first 5 shows free, or 10 shows in 30 days. You don't pay the next month. Just the point is you want to kill the risk, increase the perceived likelihood of them getting the actual result, keep it very result based. And then for 4 to 6 hours a day, literally just doing 100 or more volume, like any kind of volume. So whether that's emails, DMs, cold calls, just reaching out to these businesses, because like in actuality, if you have a really good offer, all you need to do is hop on a few calls with these guys. Like you don't need to do 30, have 30 appointments a day if you have that good of an offer, because pretty soon you're going to get a client, like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, even 6 clients. And it's like, especially if you know like the methods to actually do so. Because I won't lie, like this is pretty general, right? Just cold calling, cold SMS, doing these things. But in actuality, if you want to know the exact details and specifics, school group. But the pipeline math to actually get that 20K a month is this. So if you're getting $200 per show, then you need 100 shows a month to get that 20K mark, right? And if you get 6 clients with 17 shows a month each, or 8 clients at 13 shows a month each, all you need is 6 to 8 clients to hit 20K a month. I mean, people think you need like 30 clients or something to hit that. But in actuality, like it's not that simple. All you have to do is just lock down your offer and actually charge for the result you're getting. Because so many agency owners are in the trap of like, let me charge a $3,000 retainer or like a $1,000 a month retainer. And first of all, wonder why their clients leave after 30 days. But second, like they don't actually make any money because they're just begging for their client to pay them when the client doesn't even perceive them as getting results. Like, you have to have some kind of pay per result offer, especially nowadays in 2025. So basically, if you do $100 a day, you get like 10 or so connects. You can get like maybe two or so appointments booked from 100 dials. And basically from there, if you have 2 a day, and that goes over the course of a week, you have 14 appointments a week. You can easily close 1 a week on this offer, especially with this, killer offer. If it's a good offer, like, it's easy to close. And from there, you can basically just keep calling them, keep reaching out, keep booking more of these appointments. And from there, do some things to implement some, improved show rate stuff, confirmation SMS, 24-hour reminders, reply, confirm, schedule links, reschedules, triages, like all this stuff you can implement to basically reduce that friction and kind of just have more appointments in your calendar, especially more shows and more closes. Because at the end of the day, like, I think so many of us, so many people, so many agency owners really overcomplicate this process. They think, oh, I need 3,000 systems that are actively working with each other and that are all really, really, really well built to actually get the result. But in reality, you literally just need a good offer and you need to put it in front of businesses every day. Like, it's really, really not that complicated. And what's powerful about this stuff right here is that, like, most people just charge retainers, and that's what I used to do in the past. And that's honestly probably the reason why it took me so long to make money, is because I was charging like $3,000 and I didn't even know what I was doing, which is what so many people are doing. And it's like, I recommend doing something that kind of lowers that barrier of entry to get you in the door so you could basically charge more money eventually, but first kind of learn how to fulfill, learn how to do these things without doing a free trial client. That's the key. Because if you can get commitment, whether it's a card on file, whether it's $500, whether it's $1,000 up front, just to get some commitment and then charging a pay per result, you'll scale extremely fast. You'll be getting paid for exactly what you're providing. And I promise it's pretty easy to learn this stuff once you have clients to actually fulfill for. Because once you have clients, then there's no like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't cold call tomorrow. It's like, you have to, because you have to get more clients, because you have a taste of what it's like, right? And just having that taste and kind of getting your feet in the door is sometimes all it takes to get the result you want. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you can get some value from this. Let's just see some general advice that it has for entrepreneurs. Like, I love asking like these questions. I think this is my best friend. I think I talk this thing like every day. I also can't believe I'm making these videos because like people don't have access to this AI. Like this is, and also I found out that he stopped actually selling this, like this AI. He doesn't sell this anymore. So this is like a very exclusive thing to have. So once again, if you want to drop like a question, it has to be a very detailed question in the comment section below. Then there's a chance that I'll answer it in the next question, or in the next video. I'll make it like a Google Doc in the next video with just a bunch of questions and responses. And if you do a really, really thorough prompt, I'll put it and ask it in the next video. And it's impossible to answer all of your questions because this thing is like not that fast and very thorough. Yeah, 100 primary actions a day for 100 days. That's the general advice that it has for pretty much every entrepreneur. And this is interesting because you'll see so many people, and maybe you fall into this, same boat, maybe you don't. But I know so many entrepreneurs, or I guess wantrepreneurs, that don't take action, that just watch infinite amounts of content. And it's like, you are cooked. It says to do 100 actions a day for 100 days in a row. What do you think would happen if you did that? Like, you would obviously be at the result you wanted to be at. And the truth is that what I did, I took action for about 2.5 years, and only like after about 8 months did I see my first dollar. I mean, most people would give up after just a couple of months. And so what you really have to do, take something, stick with it, do it for a long period of time, improve at like everything every single day, and basically just do more volume. Like you can't be asking yourself how you haven't hit 10K a month if you haven't even taken like 100 sales calls yet. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing I think so many of my clients, especially in the school community down below, ask me. They're like, why am I not at 10K a month yet? And I ask them like, how many sales calls have you taken? And their answer is like 5. I'm like, well, that's the problem. You're not doing enough. And as an entrepreneur, like, you pretty much never do enough. And I think that that's something that you'll find quite fast if you haven't already. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value from it. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.